Blog Talk Radio.
The Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. Your host is here for the show tonight to interview our special guest. Show highlight. The Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. Football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, boxing, tennis, golf, and racing. The Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. Tune in for all the news and scores, reporting on the games and so much more. The Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alan Alford Sports Talk Show.
Plug in your mic. So there we go. It would help if you plugged in your mic. So sorry about that, folks. And that's what happens on live TV. But at least, you know what? I've been doing this long enough to figure out that you should always check things just to make sure. And I'm glad that I was able to get this all up and running for you. Again, this is Alan from the Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. Feel free to join us live. 516-418-5572. Again, it's 516-418-5572. So, yes, folks, I had to move things around a little bit today, and we are up and running. Again, that number is 516-418-5572. Feel free to join us here live on the Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. So, and one of the things I definitely wanted to do is go ahead and thank our wonderful sponsor. Let me do that now, right here. It's Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. So delicious and addicting, you may need a support group. Make sure you visit Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce anytime you wish, right here in beautiful Tampa, Florida. And you can go ahead and see that right at 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. Again, that's 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. Definitely check it out. I want to thank our wonderful sponsor, Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. So delicious and addicting, you may need a support group. So make sure you check them out there. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and play a special song here on the Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. And that's sang by none other than songwriter Sam Scola. You can hear this song and all the songs that are on the Alan Alford Sports Talk Show on YouTube and Spotify are all sang by Sam Scola. So check him out there. Thank him. And if you definitely want that songwriter, reach out to Sam Scola at singalongwithsam@gmail.com. So we're going to play the Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce song right now here on the Alan Alford Sports Talk Show.
Comes in for variety, Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce, a natural flavor. Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce, Florida gold honey mustard on burgers and ribs. Tasty fusion on pork and sausage. A classic taste for chicken steak tips. A hot heat wave on meatballs and ham. It's a cookout treat. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Serve on fish and vegetables. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce.
Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. So delicious and addicting, you may need a support group. So again, don't forget to visit Chef G's right there in beautiful Tampa, Florida, 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. And if you can't come down to Tampa, you can always visit him at flbbqsauce.com. Then it's flbbqsauce.com. Don't forget that great sauce. And definitely thank you guys for joining us here on the Allen Alfred Sports Talk Show. We're going to have a wonderful show for you. Again, that live calling number is 516-418-5572. And without further ado, we have our first caller of the day calling in. In fact, let me try to cue this up so you guys can hear it. Let me do that now. Hey, how you doing so far tonight, Lou?
All right, Alan, thanks. Thanks for your introduction,
All right,
Sam.
well, great to hear from you. So, definitely, how you been?
All right, and with my Rangers on a hot streak, can't get any better than that.
Rangers are on a hot streak. That's right. Yeah, life can't get better than that. Yeah, I'm glad you called in to tell me about the Rangers, and also I want to get your thoughts. What do you think of the Daytona 500?
I didn't get a chance to see it, but I heard, they had a controversy with the race, and of course with the rain delay and whatnot, and that 22 car pileup from the crash. But then again, what's in our race without the crash, right? I mean, really.
Yeah.
And but our predictions were all wrong. They were taking Kozlowski to win it, but they were wrong about that too.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very interesting race. I thought Bubba had a chance to win it at a point too.
Yeah.
He was doing really well. He actually did.
Yeah,
he ran a really nice race. He did really well. But yeah, I'm glad they got the race in. It was delayed a day, but at least they got it in. And I also wanted to get your thoughts on that new, I don't know if you heard this, but Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant, and I forget, Luke Longley, that's the third one. They're doing like their own little tour, No Bull tour, basically, where they're going to talk about The Last Dance, and they basically are going to go ahead and discredit some of the stuff that was said on the show, on the documentary. What are your thoughts on that?
They're going to discredit. Well, you have those behind the surface of that. It seemed they were coming together and were a close-knit group, but off the court there was anything but that. They were like each other's throats and ready to rip each other apart. What you see during the game when the cameras are rolling is not what you see. It's not what you see with the real team is. Because I watched that documentary and it was brutal. And, it wasn't the team that everybody thinks it was.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you're exactly right. Because you definitely got an indication watching the documentary and now afterwards that they were very successful on the court as a team, but you could tell that there was a lot of dissension and a lot of bickering between the team. It almost seemed like it's amazing to me that they got all those championships with all this animosity going every which way. And it's just getting worse. It's like when you think it's over, it's just getting worse because today I thought it was just like, okay, it was just a media thing. They were just saying that they were going to do a tour. I follow Scottie Pippen, and no, he took a picture with all three of them about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago, getting off the plane. The tour starting in Australia. He's getting off the plane and said he's ready to go with the other two guys. So it's about to go down. It's real. They doing a tour in Australia. The three fellas discrediting The Last Dance.
Yeah.
And more particularly,
okay, but that's only three of them. But the rest of the group, huh? I guess they still some animosity. So it's not all put together.
Yeah, but the thing is, they're really trying to. What I take away from this, they're trying to discredit Michael and his greatness. And hey, yes, you do great, but you didn't tell the whole story. Like there's more to it than what you said. And I think you did. Their point is also you diminished a lot of our contribution to it.
Yeah. They broke up the team before the team got separated.
Yeah, they before the team actually lost, they broke up, which is something that's rare. That's rare, especially when you're winning that many times. You usually wait till a team gets a loss in either the championship game or the playoffs, and then you find that you use that as a reason to break everything up. I haven't had a team that won and you broke everything up.
Gee, it's like Yoko breaking up the Beatles all over again. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. I hope we passed the audition. No. Oh boy. Yeah. Well, that's what it sounds like. I mean, but of course, you didn't have just one person breaking it up. You had a whole slew of characters breaking it up, not just one person.
Yeah. When it comes to teamwork, you're right. Sometimes people can do well together when they're actually doing the task, but once the task is over, they don't get along too well.
Nope.
But for Showtime, they know how to make things work. And the Bulls were, at that time, when they did their thing together, there was no better team than the Bulls. I mean, there was teams that were good enough to beat them. There was teams that I felt, especially when the Jazz played them the second time, there was a team that was good enough to beat them. But I felt like in order for you to beat the Bulls, everything had to work your way. And usually the Bulls would find a way. But yeah, they did. I mean, but yeah, folks, I'll talk more about that later in the show. It's called the No Bull Tour, and it's starting in Australia. Scottie Pippen, you go to his Instagram page, he'll show you that picture. So it is real. The Horace Grant, Scottie Pippen, and Luke Longley are on tour to discredit Michael Jordan as a teammate, and particularly the Last Dance documentary.
No Tony Crew coach. No Scottie Pippen. Let's see. Who else? Basically, of course, Dennis Rodman, not him either. So, I mean, there's a lot missing from this.
Yeah, I agree. But I do think if they sell some good amount of tickets, I would not be surprised, Lou, if at least one or two other players joined in later on. You understand?
Okay, I'll buy that.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if this thing does well.
No.
That another player says, you know what, guys? I made room in my schedule. I want to join you on the tour. I would not be surprised.
Right.
If this is successful, I feel like where there's smoke, there's fire. I feel like there's probably another player or two or three that wants to speak out, but kind of needs that push.
Yeah.
And I think if it's successful and it's doing well, I think they're going to get somebody else on board. That's what I feel.
Yeah.
But
right.
I know one thing that's successful, and I apologize I couldn't call on Saturday. It was during the Daytona 500. It was raining like there's no tomorrow, and I was moving around so much. It was just a hectic. That 3 days, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday was a hectic 3 days. I had fun like there's no tomorrow, but it was hectic. It was when I got back home. I was supposed to be to something.
Aren't you forgetting something?
Say again?
Aren't you forgetting something?
Am I forgetting something?
There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow.
Yeah, I apologize about that. It's just
That was bad. I had a good crowd though, anyway. But I think I can guarantee more room for you tomorrow.
yeah, I'll definitely be back in the game tomorrow. Yeah,
I got more room available for sure.
Yeah, I'll be back in the game tomorrow. It's just that
Good.
that when I was actually late for something I had to be to because I just pretty much crashed. But it was chaotic.
How can you imagine all that rain?
I had a nice jacket that has nice liner inside, well made. I had a hat, so I was good with the rain as far as when I was getting rain on, thankfully. But it just wouldn't stop raining, and I just couldn't call in, and it was just so much things I had to do, like move around and go places, and it kept me busy. And I'd have to say, which I'm gonna talk more about too later with the people, is my experience. Props to a lot of the drivers and a lot of the VIP guests because they still signed and they still took selfies in the rain. I mean, the rain didn't stop anybody from having fun. But I'll talk more about that. But I'm definitely excited to hear what you got cooking on tomorrow.
All right. Well, we are going to wrap up the Daytona 500 and the All-Star Weekend. There's some controversy on the All-Star Weekend, too, thinking that the game was 6. You guys be the judge of that. NFL divisions continue. College basketball, as we're now nearing down the final weeks of the season. I also want your take on the second half of the season, or what's left of it, as well. Of course, we have the UFC and WWE reports as well. Now, I have experts on spring training as well, since we're now into that. And, of course, our regular features, the Ridiculous Sign of the Week, Sports Trivia, This Week in Sports History, the Feel Good Story of the Week, and it's that time of the month where we do our best and worst of the month, and this is the best and worst of February. And those who've been following along these past weeks, I think we know which items that'll be. So, if you got time tomorrow, call 512-543-4662, 512-543-4662 for 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time.
Okay, yes. So let me make sure I tell people that number. It's 512-543-4662, 512-543-4662. So, yes, definitely, Lou, I'll make sure I call in, and I appreciate you all the time. You're the best.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Sure.
Looking forward.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Thank you for calling. Yes. So I apologize, folks. I don't know. Being that we're doing the blog talk as well as the YouTube Live, I have noticed that sometimes the callers don't come over on the StreamYard as good. I have to figure that out. But we will, don't worry. We will figure that out somehow, some way. I apologize. I did notice that when I have listened to it. I appreciate the fans letting me know that they could hear the caller great on Blog Talk, but not on the StreamYard as much. So I have to figure out a way to get the caller through the Streamline a lot better. But we will continue forward here on the Alan Alfred Sportsbook Show. I appreciate everyone joining us here on the Alan Alfred Sportsbook Show. And also, I did want to kind of let you know how things went at the Daytona 500. There was quite a few people who wanted to hear how my experience was. So I'll go ahead and break that down for you. It was awesome. The Daytona 500 was truly, truly amazing. It was my third year in a row going, and it seemed like to me it gets better and better. I went ahead and went there. It was raining. I didn't go there. Usually I go there. I get there Wednesday, Thursday, but I couldn't do that this year. I had to go Saturday and Sunday for the weekend, and it ended up being Saturday, Sunday, and Monday because of the rain out. But it was awesome. I really have to give the Daytona 500, the drivers, the VIP guests, a lot of credit because even though it rained all day pretty much on Saturday and Sunday, guys still took time to sign autographs in the rain, did interviews, like they had scheduled interviews, let's say on stage. They still did their interview on stage. They went ahead and took selfies. Most of my work that I got done with selfies and pictures with drivers was during the rain. DJ Khaled came through, and I got a chance to get a picture with him. Got to give credit to Wendy's. Wendy's, for those who don't know, who haven't been to Daytona 500, had a big showcase there, and they pretty much gave away food almost the entire time for free. With the biggie bags, they call them the biggie bags for free. I know that promotion, and I know them doing that cost them a lot of money because they had their thing wrapped around the whole corner. It was nice and had a golf course, like a 3-putting golf course, and then you're giving away free food continuously up until like late at night. That was an expensive promotion, but that was awesome that Wendy's did that. And that's why DJ Khaled came through, because he is the spokesperson for Wendy's, and he did a couple of video clips, and that's how I was able to go ahead and run into him there. You know, it was awesome. I would have, the only thing I was hoping to have gotten a chance to talk to was The Rock. I knew he was going to be the Grand Marshal. I didn't get a chance to talk to The Rock. It was just too many people, too busy by the time he got there on Sunday. And it would have been great because I would have definitely had a great UFL question for him, but it wasn't meant to be. That's okay. I wasn't going to let that or anything that didn't go my way, so to speak, hinder anything. The Air Force, the Thunderbirds, they practiced in the rain. They practiced Saturday, and they did a little bit of practice Sunday for the big day on Monday. So it was really, really, the rain did not stop anything, and it just delayed the race till the next day. Now, one thing I did want to say is that it did, I did kind of suspect this was going to happen. If the race did not run at all on Sunday, let's say it was delayed and instead of being postponed to the next day, I felt as if maybe we could have still got Pitbull to do his concert and everything would have been okay. But Pitbull basically did show up on Monday, but he did say that he couldn't do the concert on Monday. So basically he moved the concert back for next year for Daytona. So if you go to Daytona Beach 2025, Pitbull, because he said he's going to do it next year. So that was one thing that got moved, was because of the rain. And also DJ Khaled was supposed to be the starter on Sunday. He could not make it on Monday, so he wasn't able to do that. But props to The Rock, because The Rock was one of the only people that was able to get bumped from Sunday to Monday and still make it. So he actually was there for both days, Sunday and Monday. He actually was there Saturday too to do some press conferences. But the cool thing is that he actually came back another day that wasn't expected because of the rain. So that was awesome. And The Rock did his thing. In fact, that was really cool that he went ahead and told drivers, start your engines. The race went really good. And I thought for a moment there, for a good little period of time, Bubba Wallace did really well. I really felt like I was like, oh man, this is awesome. I picked the right race to be at, because it felt like Bubba had a great chance of winning. He was leading for a lot of, I would say a lot of the race. I would have to say at least about 10 laps. I didn't count. I could be off on the laps, but he was ahead for a good little period of time. And not only that, when he wasn't in the lead, he was either second or third, and you could tell he was making his moves. So if he got the first spot for, let's say, 10 laps, and then he went down to second or third, he would still move back up to second. He still was in that race. And I felt as if things went his way, he got a couple of breaks, he could have very well won that race. And he was in it. I mean, he ended up sixth, but that sixth place doesn't show how well I feel as if he did in that race. I know he had some car trouble. I think when he had the lead, actually, he had some car trouble, but it was cool. I know Kyle Busch is 0-18 now, I believe it is. But I just feel as if with this race, the Daytona 500, you're never out of it. There was one driver, I forget his name, but it was number 16, who was like way back. And you would see a bunch of cars go by the group, and then you would see number 16 straggling by like, look at that guy, he's all late. But lo and behold, he kept hanging in there. About a half an hour, 45 minutes later, he was in the lead. And he had the lead for like 5 or 6 laps. So you're never out of the race as long as you keep on hitting the gas, keep going forward, as long as your car's operable. That's the cool thing about the Daytona 500 is that if you don't quit and you keep pushing and there's enough time in that race, you might make a run and still have a chance to win. So it was a cool race. There was a fan that reached out and said, hey, they're hoping to make it to Daytona 500. I would definitely recommend everyone to make it to Daytona 500. At least you know if it does rain throughout the 4 days, the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, you still know that you're going to have a fantastic time because it rained pretty much all day Saturday and Sunday. It did not stop anything. People did have a great time, myself included. For example, there was one point where they were doing the Barstool interviews and they had like 4 guys on the stage, drivers. There was so much rain that the rain had poured through the top of the stage and it was coming down right in the middle of the interview. All they did was move the chair and a couple of drivers moved aside and they continued the interview right there in the rain where rain coming down right on the stage. So that rain didn't stop anybody. At least you know if it rains, people are going to still have a great time. And so come out to Daytona 500. It's great. It was a great experience. I recommend it. And what else did occur is, I'm excited to see who they're going to have next year. I'm excited to see who they're going to bring out there next year. So that brings me to some of the things that did happen during the Daytona 500. During the Daytona 500, The Rock, I got to give him props. He did a magnificent job in promoting the UFL. I know I've mentioned a couple times on the show that I felt as if The Rock has these big opportunities with interviews and on stage, and he'll mention a couple of his other venues, but he won't mention the league at all. He won't plug it. Even when he has a great opportunity where he's in front of football fans, I'm like, hey, you got to plug the league. You got to say something about it. And sometimes it's just been missed opportunity. Well, this time, I don't know if it was Fox. It was Fox, but they seized the opportunity and they promoted the UFL, which is the training camp starts tomorrow. The players did report today. Definitely things are heating up. With the UFL 2, you can go ahead and get single seat. If you don't want to invest in the whole season, you can buy single tickets now. You also can buy a UFL ball. You can order one of those. I tried to get on there today and order just the plain UFL ball. I couldn't see it at all. I don't know if they moved the link, but I couldn't get the plain UFL ball. Before, that was the only ball you could get was just the plain UFL ball. Now, you have to get the UFL with the team logo on it. So that's on there now. So you can check that out. And the question is, if you're a prospective player or you know someone that has and you haven't been called yet, what should you do? Well, that's what I'm going to tell you now is if you're a prospective player or you know somebody's a prospective player, if you haven't been called by now, it's pretty much a wrap. I hate to say it like that because the players that are showing up now, there's no guarantee they're going to make it to the final roster. But typically what's happening now is if you're in camp, go ahead and compete. They're going to make some more cuts because not everybody in camp gets to get on the final roster. So right now, pretty much if you're not in that ticket of group of people that are showing up to a camp right now for the UFL, I wouldn't say it's definitely a wrap, but it's pretty much 99% chance wrap. There might be a player or two that they might call in to see what they have, but it's not something I would hold my breath on. I'll put it like that. It is pretty much, unfortunately, at this point, a foregone conclusion that if you're not in camp right now, that more than likely you're not going to play for the UFL for the 2024 season. That's just the harsh reality of it. What you do now is you stay positive and you try to do and look for Coach James Shiver for the Louisiana Voodoos. And that is for the AFL, the Arena Football League. You try to take an opportunity there if you can, or another arena football team if you can't come to Louisiana. But you have to stay active, and that's what you need to do. You need to continue to play, not just train at the gym. You need to actually be on the field playing at some capacity, whether it's a league like the AFL or some type of organized football league. And I think the AFL is a great opportunity with Coach Shiver. I think that's your best bet. You have to stay positive, but it's not that the person that you're not a good player. It's just that there's so few spots available, and there's so many people in need. That's what it is. If you have not been called by now by the UFL, the chance of you getting called is pretty slim to none. I would try to reach out to Coach James Shiver, the Louisiana Voodoos, and then just go ahead and try to see if you can go ahead and get an opportunity to play for them, because that is your best bet if you're not been called by the UFL at this point. Because tomorrow, I even seen some of the players show up today, and tomorrow is the first day of camp. So what happens is everybody's falling in for the camp. They go ahead and compete. Then the roster gets smaller, and they get down to the nitty-gritty. I'll give you an example. When I covered the XFL, the Orlando Guardians, last year for the entire season, the first player I interviewed for the XFL Orlando Guardians, I'm not going to mention their name, but unfortunately, they did not make it to the final roster of the Orlando Guardians. So just because you're in camp doesn't mean you're going to make it to the final roster. But if you're not in camp right now, the chance of you being called is slim to almost none. I say it's a 99% chance it's not going to happen. There might be that one or two cases that they call in. Maybe somebody couldn't make it to camp, didn't show up. There'll be 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 cases across the whole 8 teams where they'll call somebody, give them an opportunity to compete. But if you do not get one of those calls, definitely reach out to me. I'll connect you to Coach James Shiver. I've actually already done that for a player. And see if you could play for the Arena Football League. That is your best bet, because you got to stay positive and you got to keep working. You can't just sit there and go to the gym all the time and not have real game experience. So at least you have that on your resume. Definitely, I would do that. That's my advice. I mean, when you're trying to be an NFL player or get on the UFL, you're not going to be able to talk your way into it. A lot of players and family members, moms, dads, they reach out to me thinking that because I have connections with the league, that I could just talk my way to the coach, and then boom, they're on the team. It doesn't work that way. It's not. And I know it might work that way in certain leagues, but not for the XFL for sure and the UFL, because there's a due process, and usually you have to compete for it. Even if you do make it to camp and you get down there, which is great, it's phenomenal, doesn't mean you're going to end up being on that final roster. They're still going to make some more cuts. They're going to see what they have, evaluate their talent, and make some more cuts. This is the kind of like the downside of professional sports is the business side is not friendly at all. What I mean by that is, yes, people's dreams get cut short. There's injuries, but you got to keep going. If you love football, definitely try to play for Coach Shiver. And that's not a guarantee either, but at least you're giving yourself an opportunity to see if you get on the field. It's better you stay active in football than to sit around and say, hey, I should be playing, or I should get an opportunity while you're not getting an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So go out there and compete, stay active. That's my best advice. And speaking of AFL, they're doing big things. You could go ahead and check out the Louisiana Boodles, and definitely go ahead and check their website. They have a lot of their merchandise available. I saw a lot of it online. They got some cool shirts. Make sure you guys support them. I won't give away too much of what they got going on, but definitely stay connected and follow. Definitely the Voodoo's and Louisiana. It's going to be really cool how they go ahead and do their thing. It's nice for them to come back. So support them. And again, the merchandise is available. So you guys should go ahead and do that. We're still going to be working on, we've already interviewed James Shiver on the UFL Fan Den twice. We're going to still continue to keep plugging away and get some more information for you guys so we can do even more interviews and a lot more. So make sure you stay connected. Follow them on Facebook and on Instagram and Twitter. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. But yes, the merchandise is available and a lot more. And you can check the schedule as well. So do that. And then also, I did want to bring to your attention another event that Willie Horton is doing. Props to Willie Horton. Definitely it's really cool that Willie Horton is the great Tiger player. He went ahead and made sure that I actually attend this event. He sent me a text because I was there last year, and he wanted me to spread the word about it. That's really great that you get, notices from somebody as wonderful as Willie Horton. But he's having his celebrity bowling event again, this annual celebrity bowling event. It's going to be Thursday, March 14th between 5:30 p.m. and 10 p.m. It's going to be at Orange Bowl Lanes in Lakeland, Florida, 4318 U.S. Highway 98 North in Lakeland, Florida, 33809. This is for bowling. A team of 4 bowlers is $400. They will take individuals, and yeah, so there'll be $100 per bowler, or a team of 4, $400. So that's the Willie Horton Detroit Tigers Celebrity Bowling Event. I will be there, and that's the 8th annual. I was there last year. It was a great event, and always awesome, always fantastic. Orange Bowl Lanes in Lakeland, Florida. So the nice thing is, I'm giving you some inside information there. Who's going to be there is Miguel Cabrera and Craig Monroe. That is awesome. That is awesome. You guys need to show up. That's for sure. Come out and support that event. And also, I did want to go ahead and give you my thoughts on Horace Grant, Scottie Pippen, and Luke Longley doing this No Bull tour starting in Australia. So it is going to come into the States, but because Scottie does have connections there in Australia, he's starting out there. I think this is just a test of the water to see what type of response they get. If it is positive, my prediction is a player or two from the Bulls will probably join in on that tour. I would not be surprised if that happens. And if this does really well in Australia, and I would not be surprised if and when they bring it here to the States. I would say, one thing I would say about this, just 1 second, is it's kind of like an attorney. Michael Jordan was a prosecutor. Now here comes the defense attorneys, the 3 guys. So I think what I believe on this situation is Michael Jordan is not going to be looking so good after this is done. You know, that's my feeling on this. I feel like one of the things about the documentary, The Last Dance, it was outstanding. It was well done, well directed. The way they kept you engaged, it was dropped at the right time. During that unfortunate COVID situation, so people was home. Whoever came up with this marketing, they did a phenomenal job. However, even watching it myself, there was a couple of things that made me go, when Arsenio Hall had that thing in his show way back in the days, things that make you go. There was a few moments in this documentary that made me go, things that make you go. And I felt like it was played up to kind of elevate and make Michael Jordan on this high, grandiose pedestal. And it just seemed to me like a little bit over the top. And that happens sometimes when you have yourself being the executive director and producer. I just felt like there were certain moments. And I'll give you an example. The thing that make you go, that I really had a hard time buying for myself personally was when Michael Jordan said that he got food poisoned during the Jazz series, the last, when they basically completed their three-peat, and he got food poisoned, and that's the reason why he was sick. I found that hard to believe, and let me tell you why. Number one, they actually was able to find the person who made the pizza. He adamantly said that I made the pizza and I delivered the pizza. So basically, from the beginning to the end, he watched over that pizza. He took accountability on that too, that no one tampered or messed with that pizza, and he delivered it. And he said that pizza was perfect. I believe that because usually somebody who would do something devious like that, and they would not take accountability to that. This person actually came forward and said, no, I knew it was Michael Jordan. I made the pizza. I was the one who delivered it. And usually, if it's one hit person handling it from beginning to end, they usually, if they did something shady, they would not take accountability for it. He did. He was forthright and said, no, nobody poisoned that pizza. Another thing was like this. Michael Jordan had a bunch of friends over. You were in a place where it's high altitude. You were drinking and smoking and high altitude. Usually those three things don't mix well, and you could upset your stomach and you could get sick that way. Okay? Those three things don't mix. Yes, you may have been able to do it a few times before and get away with it, but hey, as you get older, your body gets more susceptible to these things, and Michael Jordan was starting to feel the wear and tear on his body. It's documented. So you got a little bit of wear and tear, you're a little tired, you got the altitude, you're drinking, you're smoking, you're in a small confined area with your friends. Yes, you can get sick. I believe Michael Jordan got sick because of the fact that he was long days and hours smoking and drinking, and he just kind of got sick that way. It catches up to you. And that's why I think he got sick. And then he ate the pizza, which I don't think was poison, but I think the combination of eating something like that, even if you're the only one who eats it, late at night, with all those other factors, you can get nauseous and sick. That's what I think happened. I don't think it was food poison, but he was trying to sell it like it was food poisoning because he's trying to make himself look all grandiose. I got food poison. Somebody did that to me, and I overcame that. Hey, you didn't get food poison. You self-inflicted the wound yourself, and the pizza did not help. It's like me eating something, a big meal, or eating something that's not healthy or I shouldn't eat because I'm drinking and smoking and I'm kind of like tired or what have you. Yes, it can make you nauseous and upset your stomach, and that can happen. That's what I think happened. So I don't believe the fact that he was food poisoned. I didn't believe it even before the last, No Bull tour, but I'm pretty sure they're going to talk about that and a lot more. I just feel as if it's a shame in this regard that this is the part that's a shame is men have turned into babies as they gotten older. I mean, it's just like you won 6 championships. These are the facts. Whether Michael Jordan wasn't as grandiose as they say, if he was or wasn't, that's debatable. But the fact remains, you guys collectively, the team, had gotten 6 championships. That's unprecedented. That is remarkable. It's a shame that now we're fast forwarding it. You guys are supposed to be retired and enjoying life, and you're still having this bickering between each other, this drama of, you did me wrong, you didn't give me enough credit, you threw me off the bus. And yes, Michael Jordan did on that documentary pick himself way up and diminish the contribution of his teammates. Let me just keep it real. The only person I felt got some kind of like real good credit and was Dennis Rodman. I felt Dennis Rodman looked very good in this documentary. Phil Jackson looked somewhat, but definitely there was Michael and everyone else. And I was expecting that to a certain degree, but I did feel as if I have to agree with Scotty on this one. I do feel as if Michael did make Scotty look like the bad guy. He didn't make Scotty look good in this documentary at all. And he should apologize to Scotty to that. I think Michael Jordan owes Scotty an apology because you did make yourself look good at the expense of someone else. Yes, Scotty was no angel. He definitely had faults, and he definitely made a mistake after Michael Jordan left the team. That was definitely a mistake. But I felt like Michael, as executive producer, he's overseeing everything. He should have made sure that Scotty looked a lot better in this documentary. Yes, you could bring up someone's faults, but you also have to bring up all the good that they did. I felt like all he did was kind of go to the faults, and he did make his boy look bad. If anybody looked bad in that documentary, number one was Scottie Pippen. He looked the worst. The other guys, they really made themselves look like they had not much of a role in the success, is my take on those two, Horace Grant as well as Luke Longley. But Scotty got thrown underneath the bus. There's a difference between he really diminished their accomplishment to like this, and Scotty just got thrown underneath the bus and made it look bad. And I think, Michael Jordan should give him an apology. He did make him look bad. There's no doubt about it. But now Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant, and Luke Longley, the table to turn. They're going to have their day in court. That's the way I look at this. Now they're going to have their day in court with this No Bull tour, and it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. It's going to be interesting to see how this really, really plays out. I'm curious to see how the public reacts as far as the interest level. I think the interest level is actually going to be pretty decent. And the reason why I think that way is because people love drama, and here it is. Here's the drama. Now, we all dismiss that Scottie Pippen was the bitter, angry one because he got thrown off the bus, and you could see that in his book. He came across as a bitter guy that was really upset and angry at his teammate because he got all the credit. He didn't get none. But now you see there's more players in this evolved. You see Horace Grant, you see Luke Longley. So obviously they're sharing the same feelings. And I'm telling you, I think if this thing does well, there will be another player or two from that Bulls team that I feel will join the guys on tour. Because yes, there really was in that last dance, Michael up here. Everybody else's contribution was somewhere over here. And I would say Dennis Rodman, he got his props, but everybody else, no. So, and shout out to Dennis Rodman, because I think out of everyone, Dennis Rodman was, after retirement, after his smoke is done, he's the one enjoying life the most, and he's the one who's most level-headed. He's not going on tour. If the guys get joined by another player, it won't be Dennis Rodman. But I just think that when you thought this drama was over, it still continues to ride on. But I do think yeah, Michael Jordan gonna get some payback on this one. He gonna get some payback. He gonna get thrown underneath the bus. Just to a large degree because of this no bull tour. I mean, just little snippets of what I heard. Yeah, he gonna get his payback, which is the point that hey, sometimes it's better you not boosting yourself up so high at the expense of your teammates. You kind of have to like put you up here. You gotta bring them up a bit. Maybe not even with you, but you gotta make sure you give them some more credit than what was given because you get a situation like this. So. Yeah, I mean, just when you thought Michael was out of that drama, because reports is that Larissa Pippen, Larsa, I beg your pardon, Larsa, and Marcus, Larsa and Marcus, the reports are that they saw each other from TMZ for Valentine's Day, but their engagement is what they reported, they're on the rocks and not engage anymore. At least that's TMZ stuff, that's drama stuff. But just when you thought he was out of kind of stepping away from the drama because of that, this no bull tour shows up. So it's, we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I just definitely want to thank you guys all the time for doing your thing. Want to thank Sam Scola. Make sure you guys do check out and subscribe to the Alan Alford show right there on YouTube. Don't forget to do that. Make sure you subscribe also on Facebook as well at Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. You can always find me on Instagram at Alan Alford _ and Twitter it's at Alan Alford. So I also want to thank Sam Scola and his beautiful wife Mary for all the great songs that you hear. Sam Scola, and he's doing a great job. Sam Scola songs are all available on YouTube and Spotify.com. And in fact, we're going to go ahead and play another Sam Scola song. We'll do that. I want to thank our wonderful sponsor, Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. So delicious and addicting, you may need a support group. Make sure you visit Chef G's right here in Tampa, 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. And if you can't come down to Tampa, that's all right. You can come and visit FLBBQSauce.com. Again, it's FLBBQSauce.com. Always fantastic, always delicious. And in fact, let me go ahead and play the Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce song right now.
Comes in full variety, Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce, a natural flavor. Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce, Florida Gold Honey Mustard on burgers and ribs, tasty fusion on pork and sausage, a classic taste for chicken steak tips, a hot heat wave on meatballs and ham. It's a cookout treat. Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce, serve on fish and vegetables. Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce, Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce, Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce.
Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce, so delicious and addicting. You may need a support group. Don't forget to visit Chef G's right there at 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. Again, that's 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. And you can visit them at flbbqsauce.com. Again, it's flbbqsauce.com. Well, thank our wonderful sponsors, Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. So delicious and addicting, you may need a support group. So make sure you check out Chef G's. And yes, definitely make sure you guys do your thing. All for watching the Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. You guys are awesome. And if you want to contact Sam Scola, it's singalongwithsam@gmail.com. Singalongwithsam@gmail.com. And we're going to end the show, in fact, with a Sam Scola song. It's the end of the show by Sam Scola. So I want to thank you guys.
It's the end of the Spot Talk Show. Let's thank all the fans before we go. It's the end of the Spot Talk Show. The Alan Alford Spot Talk Show. Thank our special